It is time for my official Super Bowl 56 prediction. Cincinnati Bengals versus the Los Angeles Rams, SoFi Stadium. It's going to be weird because it's technically a home game for the Bengals, but the Rams are playing in their home stadium, so like take it how you want to take it. First of all, so weird, there's never been an NFL team host a Super Bowl in their own stadium, and now it's happened 2 consecutive years. Last year with the Bucks and Raymond James, this year with the Rams and SoFi. It's weird, but interesting nonetheless. You know, the Bucks won it last year, so does that mean the Rams are going to win this year? Now, first and foremost, I do want you guys to let me know in the comment section below, because these are one of those videos I'm very interested in. I want to see what your guys' picks are. I want you to let me know who your winner is, and also want you to let me know what your score prediction is. And if I see anybody out there actually get the correct score prediction, I'll give you a nice little Amazon gift card as a prize. Now, first, how did these two teams even get here? The Cincinnati Bengals were not supposed to do anything this year, but I knew from last year when I watched my Tennessee Titans get absolutely obliterated by Burrow and the Bengals, I knew Zach Taylor was building something special there. Fast forward an entire year, you got the draft pick of Jamar Chase that completely changed that organization. And obviously, Joe Burrow staying healthy for the entire year was pretty important too. They go out and win one of the most competitive divisions in all of the NFL. They get a home game in the first round against the Raiders. All comes down to a goal line stand to win that one. Then they go through Nashville, beat my Tennessee Titans, broke my heart. I was there on a last-second field goal. Then they go out, travel to Kansas City, and defeat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in overtime. What a ride it was for Joe Burrow and the Bengals to even get to this point. If Joe Burrow and the Bengals do actually end up winning, it'll be the first time a quarterback's ever won the Heisman Trophy, a national championship, and a Super Bowl. That's the most insane stat I've ever heard. Now, on the flip side, the Rams kind of took a different approach. They went out, traded everything for Matthew Stafford. They put all their chips in for now. They know it's going to screw them over later, but it doesn't matter if they win themselves a Super Bowl. And with that trade, they were projected by so many, and me included, as to be one of the Super Bowl favorites. So for them to make it this far, it's not really that much a surprise. And not to mention, they go out, trade for some, decent little player like Von Miller. They go out, they sign Odell Beckham Jr. So right now, they are a better team than what we all thought they were going to be in the offseason. If you would have told us the Rams would have ended up with Von Miller, Odell Beckham Jr., not to mention bringing Eric Weddle out of retirement, we all would have told you there they would have been the Super Bowl favorite. I mean, that's not to say they didn't have an incredible season and had to go through a lot to get here. They lost Robert Woods, one of the better receivers. They lost Cam Akers before the season even started. And they did have a pretty lackluster finish to the season. So it's not me saying the entire season was just freaking magic and fairy tales. No, they had to go through a lot, and they did what it took, and they did what they had to do to make it to the Super Bowl. So when it all comes together, you have one team in the Bengals that nobody in a million years projected to be here. Everybody pretty much thought they were going to be dead last in their division. And the Rams, who were like a top 5 Super Bowl favorite coming into the season, doing exactly what they set out to do. I do want to say I'm so mad at myself because in my NFL prediction video preseason that never got uploaded, I did have the Bengals as my dark horse pick. I had the Cardinals in the NFC. And that would have made me look at least a little bit smarter than what I do now after my NFL playoff prediction video. Oh my God. Now, if you want me to do a reaction to that video, we can get like 3,000-4,000 likes in this one. I'll make that happen, but that's literally the worst prediction pick video I've ever done in my life. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed. Now, before we get into our pick, let's take a quick listen to a word from today's sponsor. I would like to give a massive shout out to Fetch for sponsoring today's video. Fetch Rewards is an easy-to-use app where you can earn rewards on literally anything you buy. You can scan any physical or e-receipt, and you can earn points no matter what you buy or where you shop. You then redeem those points for hundreds of rewards like Amazon and some of your other favorite stores. The best thing about Fetch, it is totally free and so easy to use. You might be asking, why Fetch? Why should I go click that link in the description box below and get Fetch? Number 1, speed. You literally scan your receipt, earn points, then spend those points on rewards, all from your mobile device. 2, it is literally so easy. You literally scan your receipt, get points, use those points, and that's it. Which brings me to my next point. There's literally so many rewards you can choose from. And lastly, you can literally earn points from anywhere. Any Amazon purchases, any e-receipts you may have, you literally earn points just from scanning your receipts on your phone. Just look how simple this is, dude. I have a receipt right here. Sure, you can see my phone recording on the screen, but as you see, not lying. You literally just take a picture of the receipt, just take a couple more, make sure they're in focus, then literally click submit, and look at that, dude. I don't know how it does it, but it's literally so simple. You guys saw it. Took me me 10 seconds, dude. I already got 600 free points from that, dude. It's so awesome. And you literally can just go look and see what rewards you can get, bro. Amazon, Dunkin' Donuts, CVS, Papa John's. Let me go ahead and scan my Chipotle receipt since it takes 5 seconds. I want to test the app out. This receipt's a little wrinkly. Chipotle receipt, that's so crazy. And literally all you have to do to get fetch rewards is just click the link in the description box below and it gets better. Because if you use promo code RBT when signing up, you get 3,000 bonus points when you scan your first receipt. Once again, if you click the link in the description box below, you can download Fetch, and when signing up, use promo code RBT to get 3,000 bonus points when you scan your first receipt. What are you waiting on? Go get Fetch today. Now, I do want to point out, at the moment I'm recording this video, the Rams are a 4-point favorite, but the Bengals have been an underdog their last 2 games, so that doesn't mean anything. Let's talk about the Bengals once again really quick. Joe Burrow in that offense, it is almost unstoppable. You have Jamar Chase, who's one of the most electrifying rookie receivers we have ever seen. Not to mention, they got T. Higgins out there, who's also extremely solid. Not even to mention Tyler Boyd as well. Now, CJ Uzomah, I think he's out, as he's been a pretty underrated target. Really productive for Joe Burrow and the Bengals this season. Not quite sure if he's going to be able to play, which obviously they'd much rather have him, but I still think the offense will be okay. Now, what this is going to boil down to is the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line. They have been horrible, especially against the Titans. The Titans probably honestly have in the playoffs the number 1 or number 2 best front 7 out there. Most productive, that is, as a collective unit. Maybe not the most superstar players, but you saw what they did to the Bengals offensive line. Now, the Rams front 7 is going to be the biggest test for the Bengals in this game. The Bengals offensive line protected Joe Burrow pretty well against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs front 7 not even comparable to the Rams front 7. So that is going to probably be the number 1 matchup in the entire game. It's going to be the matchup between the Bengals offensive line and the Rams front 7. Now, on the flip side, the Bengals, their defense, I mean, they obviously have some star-studded players all over the field, but you just still, at the same time, wouldn't think of their defensive unit collectively to be the group that they've been in this playoff run, making the plays when they've got to. They've made so many clutch plays, created so many clutch turnovers against the Titans at the end of the game, Mahomes and the Chiefs at the beginning of overtime to really set up the win. So as much as we want to talk about the Bengals and their offense, their defense has really been what's kind of kept them going throughout this playoff run. So for the Bengals to have a chance, I do think their defense is going to have to, and I mean have to, create 2, maybe 3 turnovers to win this. Now, I do think they actually have the capability to do so. Now, let's talk about the Rams now. Matthew Stafford, he's had, his low points throughout the season, but as an overall assessment, he's had a very, very solid season. Cooper Kupp, oh my God, absolutely unguardable. Like, we don't even have to talk about Cooper Kupp. Literally, he's like a for sure first down every time you throw him the football. Not to mention Odell, who's been playing at a freaking all-pro level ever since he moved to LA. Offensive line's kind of been a little sketchy for the Rams this year, but I don't think the Bengals front 7 will give them that many issues. But I still do think the Rams, for the most part, should be able to move the ball against the Bengals. It's just whether or not they can keep from turning the ball over. Because I think the turnover battle as well, although it always is, will be another huge deciding factor in this game. That's like the most obvious point of all time, but we'll just roll with it. Now, talking about this Rams defense, I think as a unit, probably has the most collective talent of any starting 11, on defense out there in the NFL. So obviously that's going to be a problem for the Bengals. Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Ashawn Robinson had a fantastic game against the 49ers. That front 7 really was the reason they beat the 49ers, because late in that game, the 49ers could do nothing, and that was because of how effective the front 7 was. Now, if the Bengals offensive line comes out and plays like they did against the Titans, I think the Rams win this one pretty comfortably by maybe a touchdown, maybe 10 points. But if their offensive line can hold up and play like they did against the Chiefs, or at least like, I don't know how to say this, half as bad as they did against the Titans, I think once again, they keep it close, and this is a really good game. I think regardless, this is going to be a heck of a game. And the hard thing is for me too, like, I really don't care who wins. Like, I would be happy for either quarterback. Joe Burrow's a stud. Matthew Stafford, everybody would be happy for him. Joe Burrow is literally the bane of my existence, dude. It literally went to the LSU-Bama game where he beat Bama, and I went to the Titans-Bengals game where he beat the Titans. So Joe Burrow probably will never go to another game where my team goes up against him. But he's just one of those guys you don't count out. And the Bengals, this playoff run really reminds me of the Titans back in 2019, but at least the Bengals won the championship game. Now, when it all boils down to it, I think once again, this is going to be another incredible playoff game. Maybe one of the best Super Bowls over the past 5, 6, 7 years. Just take the trends of the last like 5, 6, 7 playoff games, bro. Like the divisional round, insane. Conference championship round, insane. I don't think that's going to change in Super Bowl 56. I think it's going to be another all-time classic matchup. But the question is, who wins. And to be honest, every time I do a Super Bowl prediction video, it's so hard to pick between the two, and I never have a definite answer until I kind of talk my way through it. And I know this is probably going to sound a lot like some of the other predictions you're going to read. I do think going into this video, I was initially going to go with the Bengals, a close victory, but the more I think about it, the more I talk about it in the matchups, you think about how talented that Rams front seven is and how poor that Bengals offensive line has been. I think that is going to be enough to push me towards the LA Rams. I'm gonna go 3-point victory, if that, dude. Now, that's not to say the Bengals can't win, bro. If the Bengals offensive line comes out, plays a solid game, I think they win. But all I can do is judge how they've done in the past, and I just don't think they match up well in the trenches against the Rams. I haven't even mentioned Joe Mixon in this video, too. The Bengals can run the ball well, too, but are they really going to be able to? I mean, he got some pretty big runs against the Titans, even though the offensive line was outmatched the entire game. So not to say Joe Mixon couldn't break a run or two, but I think this game literally is going to come down to the trenches, and right now, I do think the Rams are going to win that battle. If they win the battle, I'm going to go Rams 24, Bengals 21. If the Bengals offensive line comes out, has a heck of a game, I could see them winning by even a touchdown. But right now, my brain and reason and logic telling me Rams. My heart wants to go Bengals. I'm gonna go with my brain this time around. Rams 24, Bengals 21. But dude, like, think who you're listening to. I think I got like 1 or 2 playoff games right the entire prediction video. So like, who am I to listen to, dude? I'm a moron.